In this video, you will learn about the coordinate plane. Now, in this video, you will learn some terms that you need to know, and you'll also learn how to graph different points on the coordinate plane. So the terms you need to know, first is what is a coordinate plane. Well, a coordinate plane is going to be this picture you see over on the right. Alright, this entire thing is called a coordinate plane. And another name we can give to this is the Cartesian plane. So as I talk, I'll probably use these interchangeably. I usually use Cartesian plane more so than coordinate plane, but both are the same thing. Alright, so on this Cartesian plane, we have different parts. So we have what's called the quadrants of the plane. So the quadrant would be each different section. So notice these kind of heavier lines in the middle, and it breaks this plane into 4 different parts: top right, top left, and bottom right. Those are quadrants. Alright, so the top right corner is called quadrant 1, top left is quadrant 2, bottom left is quadrant 3, and bottom right is quadrant 4. Alright, so do be aware that quadrant 1 does start in the top right, not in the top left like many people think. Alright, so it starts here in the top right, and then it works counterclockwise to get the other quadrant numbers. Alright, we also have what's called the origin, which is this point right here where these two lines cross. Alright, origin means beginning. That's kind of the beginning point, as we will graph different things later. Alright, next we have the word axes. So this is plural for the word axis. Alright, so we have 2 different axes. We have an x-axis and a y-axis. The x-axis is the one that goes horizontal like this. Alright, so this would be your x-axis. The y-axis is the one that is vertical, going like this. Alright, and if you're struggling to remember which one is the x-axis and which one is the y-axis, notice if you take the letter y and kind of extend the bottom, it becomes a vertical line, which is what the y-axis is. Alright, so make sure you know these different terms and the different parts of the coordinate plane. Next we have what is called an ordered pair. What this is a pair of numbers that are put together. So for example, we have 3, 1, and we close an ordered pair with parentheses. So parentheses 3, 1. So this first number, the 3, is going to be always our x coordinate. And the really fancy word we give to that is called the abscissa. Alright, in my personal experience, I've not really heard the word abscissa used hardly at all, but here it is, and more specifically, be aware of the term x coordinate. Alright, so know this first number is your x value. Alright, and the second number is your y coordinate, and the fancy term that we give to that is called the ordinate. And again, I've not really heard the word ordinate used hardly at all, but this is the technical term for that y coordinate. Alright, so we have x coming first, y coming second. If you forget that, just remember that x comes first in the alphabet, and then y comes second in the alphabet. So x would come first in the ordered pair, and y would come second in the ordered pair. Now we can graph ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. For example, we have point A, and point A is the point 3, 2. So 3, 2 is my ordered pair, where 3 is my x value, and 2 is my y value. Alright, so to graph, okay, remember this horizontal line is your x-axis. So starting here at the origin, right here in the middle, we need to go 3 in the x direction, which would be left and right, and it's a positive 3. So for x, the positive direction would be to the right, and anything to the left of the origin would be negative. And for y, anything up from the origin is positive, and anything below is going to be negative. All right, so I go over 3 in the x direction to the right, because right is positive. So I go over 1, 2, 3, that takes me right here. All right, and then I go 2 up, because y is up and down. And 2 is positive, so I go up 2, which is positive. So my point would be right here, over to the right 3, and then up 2. So that is point A. Now point B we have at 0, 4. All right, so to graph this one, x is 0, meaning on the x-axis, left and right, we do not go over at all. All right, just stay here at 0. And then y is 4, and is positive, which means I go up in the positive direction 4 spaces. So I do not go left or right, I just go straight up 4 places. It takes me right here to this point. All right, so this point right here is going to be 0, 4. Now what about -3, -1? So x is -3, so on the x-axis, negative is to the left. So from the origin right here, I go to the left 3, and then I go down 1 because y is -1. So I go to the left 3 and down 1, which is the negative direction, to get this point right here. Okay, what about point D? Point D is at 2, -3. So x is 2 and is positive, so the positive direction for x would be to the right. So I go to the right 2, and then y is -3, and for y the negative direction is down. So I go to the right 2 and down 3 from the origin, which takes me right here. That's to the right 2, down 3. Okay, well what about 2, 0? Where would this go? So here x is 2, so x is left and right, and it's a positive 2, so it means it goes to the right 2. And then y is 0, and y is the up and down direction, so it does not go up or down, so it just stays right here at 2. So my point would be 2, 0, and that's where you see it here in purple. Alright, so in this lesson you have learned different terms, and you've learned how to graph ordered pairs. And that concludes our lesson for today. We will see you next time.